Yo, what's up everybody? What's up? I'm gonna wait till a few people sign on to start talking about this stuff. Yo, can everyone hear me alright? Yo, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me talking right now. Yo, Allie, what's up, Allie? Can everyone hear me alright? Talking into the phone right now. Yeah, thumbs up. Woo! What's up? Alright, I'm gonna wait till a couple more people sign in and then I'll start talking about all this stuff. Yo, what's up, Amelia? Amelia's in the house. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna get started in a minute. You! Yo, what up? Alright, y'all, welcome to this DJ Mixer Workshop. I hope that some of y'all are here to learn about this piece of gear right here. Feel free to comment questions while I'm talking about this stuff. I'm going to be looking at the screen, so yeah, feel free to ask me questions through the chat and I'll try to reply to anything. My basic approach for this is just going to be starting from the beginning, which is either vinyl or MP3s, and we're just going to trace the signal all the way through the mixer and out the different signal paths, and we'll just talk about everything, and we'll take it slow and we'll listen to some jams and chill out for a little bit. So again, feel free to ask me questions, and yeah, we'll have fun with it. So yeah, let's start with the media source. So in our particular setup, we have two media sources. We've got XDJs, which takes digital audio files, MP3s, waves, FLAC files, you name it. And then we have vinyl, which has your music scraped into the grooves. So I don't use XDJs, but I put a few tracks on a flash drive so that I could show you this. So alright, let's load up a track. We'll play it. Alright, let's start with the connections. So we'll come around the back. So on the back of the XDJs, we got these two RCAs. Y'all know RCAs, right? And then on the back of the turntables, we also have RCAs, but they're hardwired into this wire, which if you trace it around, boom, you got RCAs. So one thing we have to talk about is the difference between line level audio and phono level audio. If anybody knows the difference, feel free to shout it out in the chat. But basically, to put it in simple terms, you got line level, which is louder. It's like a stronger voltage, which drives, it's enough to drive headphones. So if you send a line level signal into, say, some headphones, you'll be able to hear something. A phono level signal, such as a turntable, in simple terms, it's a very quiet signal. So a signal coming out of a turntable, it is not enough to drive headphones. Like if you plugged a turntable straight into some headphones, you wouldn't probably be able to hear anything. It would need amplification. So why is it important to know the difference between line level audio signals and phono level audio signals? Well, that's going to tell us where to plug in on the mixer, because the mixer has circuits which are designed to accept different levels of audio. And if you accidentally plug a line level signal, say into, I don't know if you can read that, but a phono level input, you're just gonna totally saturate that input and it's gonna distort and clip. So that's why it's good to know which is which. So we'll start with the XDJs, and you see these RCAs here. We've got right and left. Oh yeah, let's see those hearts. Hit those hearts. Right and left. Who can tell me in the chat how we know which side is right and which side is left? You know, how do we know which way to plug these in? Well, I mean, you can see the colors there, but sometimes they don't have the colors. So like, how do I know that I don't plug it in like this? How do I know that? Alright, I'm just gonna tell you. They're color coded. Red stands for right, is basically the way to remember it. Red is right, everybody. You got that? There we go. Hell yeah, red is right. We're on the same page. So if I saw this, I would know that this is wrong, because red is connected to the L, which is left. So let's fix that real quick. Boom. Alright, let's follow that. We'll trace that around, and then we're coming into the mixer here. Boom, and we know that's a line level signal, and we see that the input we're going into says line A. So that's good, and we got red on the right, white on the left. Alright, we're all hooked up. Hell yeah. Alright, let's bring it around. Okay, so I don't really use these, but I think they're good to have, and they give people access, so I'm glad that we have them here. Alright, what am I doing? Alright, I load up my track, hit play, and then come over to the mixer, and we got some LEDs. That's pretty cool, huh? We're getting somewhere. So to backtrack a little bit, we plugged into our line input here, line A. This mixer also has a toggle switch between different lines. You see you have line A and B. You see that little icon where if it's raised up, it's line A, and if it's pressed in, it's line B. If I go at an angle here, you can see it's kind of pressed up. So that would be line B. That would be line A. Sometimes I see people at parties and they panic and they're like, "Oh shit, like Wirl, how do I'm not getting any audio to the channel." First thing I check is that if this button accidentally got hit, and probably 90% of the time I just need to hit this button onto the right one. Yeah, hell yeah, Allie. The not filter, not father. Damn. These knobs are not your father, okay? They're not. I know you want them to be. Alright, so we got this hit to the right one. Another way you can check this is to just look at the levels. So we know we're getting levels here. If I hit that button, no more levels. Hit it again. Alright, we're getting it. So that's how we know we got our audio routed in right. So we're sending line level audio from the XDJs into the line input. And this is input 2. And the cable lines up, so you know this whole row, this whole section is input 2. Cool. So yeah, we're hooked up, and these LEDs let us know that we're basically doing everything right. So typically when you load up, let's see, I got a question. Is that dry/wet or resonance? That's a great question. I'm gonna hold off talking about the filter for now, because I know that there's probably some people in here that are fairly new to this or haven't DJed before. So we'll start with the bare bones basics of just getting your audio out the speakers, and then if I have time at the end, we'll talk about the resonance and the dry wet free effects end. But for now, we got our line level in. We got our LEDs. That tells us that we have something coming to this channel. It's coming through, which is great. Our fader's down. So when you load up a DJ track, the first thing you're going to want to do in most cases is set your trim. And some of you might be asking, what the hell is trim? Some people, like, you know, a lot of DJs, they're just like, oh, put on a track and mess with the faders. No, you got to kind of finesse the track first, you know? It's like, you can't just pop your bread in the oven before mixing the dough. You know, you got to get your batter right before you you pop it in. So first thing we want to do is set our EQ to flat. When everything's at 50%, that's called flat, or that's one way to talk about it. If your levels are like this, you're not going to get an accurate volume reading right here. Finesse, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. So before we finesse our track, we're gonna make this flat. All right, we got a flat EQ, and that's how we know that this is, somewhat accurately reflecting the level of the track. And then we can set our trim, and on different mixers it's called different things, but the easy way to know where the trim is it's usually right above the EQ trim. And I would assume that the reason they put it there is because this is kind of like the first thing you do when you're finessing your track. So it's kind of a top to bottom thing. So we'll start top to bottom. So let's set our level. How do we set our level? Well, I gotta restart this track. All right, we got a track going. Oh wait, let me put this banger on. All right, so we got our levels here, and we're gonna use this trim pot to set the levels. So if I turn it all the way down, we've got nothing on the LEDs, right? Nothing. So that's not loud enough. Bring it up slowly. Just keep bringing it up. Damn, that is really, really loud. See that red light there? As some of you might be guessing, red is bad. If you have a red light on there, your track is going to sound like crap, I'm sorry to tell you. So you got to turn down the trim pot. Alright, so let's bring it down a little bit. Now some of you might be wondering, what the hell are all those stickers that Wirl put on the mixer? Well, these are just some guidelines I put. I wrote, keep levels at or below first blue LED. And basically I did that because this is just it's a good point to have your levels so that you're sending a strong signal to the main sound system. It's not too quiet, so you don't have too much like noise coming through, and it's not too loud, so you're clipping your signal and sending like a totally distorted signal. So that's why I put this here. Now I want to clarify something really important. Try and fucking stop me. Yo, I'm not gonna stop you, but you know what's gonna stop you? The limiter in our house rack. The limiter is gonna stop you actually. And it's not gonna make it sound good. It's gonna squash your signal, but it is gonna keep your volume down. So to answer that question, yeah, if you go like this and you're playing like this the whole time, you're actually not even making it louder. You're just not. It's actually just triggering the limiter, which is we could do another tutorial on that another time. But this right here, this red light, you're basically sending a super crunchy, fucked up signal to the house mixer back there, and then we have a limiter there which automatically reduces the volume. So yeah, the limiter says no. Exactly. Thank you, Sparkle Purple Bunny. Limiter says no. So yeah, if you're doing this, you're literally accomplishing nothing aside from making your music sound like crap. So again, we'll take the trim pot. Yep, you got it, Ellen. This is my main motivation for doing this, is so that people don't blast the limiter and squash their signals. It's not even really a risk to the sound system because the limiter protects the speakers from getting too much voltage. It literally just makes the DJ's music sound bad. So if you're doing this, that red light, all that should represent to you is that your music is sounding bad. Got that? Great. So we'll take the trim pot. We'll bring this down. I've got those little guide arrows there to help people who are new to this. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice, everyone? That first blue LED. You got a nice signal. Not too hot, not too quiet. I'm just going to restart the track over here. Alright. There we go. Alright, we got a nice signal here. We got a flat EQ. Got the trim pot set, so the first blue LED is there. It's gonna sound nice and good. It's gonna get a nice full bumpin' dance track. Alright, before I bring up this fader, there's another thing that we gotta check. There's two outputs on this mixer. There's a booth output and there's a mix output. Who can guess what the difference between these is? I'll give you 2 seconds. Alright, time's up. The booth mixer sends out audio to the booth, which is, I mean, it's not really a booth, but they're like behind this table. We could relabel this to say behind the table instead of booth, might be a little more clear. So this booth, quote booth, it's these two speakers on either side of me. So if I'm DJing and I'm like, oh, I just want a little more volume behind this table I'm standing behind, so that I can just like hear my mixes a little better, this is the knob you want to adjust for that. The booth. That's you, booth. You're in the booth. Are you in the mix, which refers to out there? This mix knob, on some mixers it's called the main out. Main. Are you in the main space? No, you're not. You're in the booth. So if you want to adjust your levels, the booth, that's where you're at. A lot of people who come and DJ here, they don't really read the labels on the mixer, and they just turn this way up, boom, and they're just like pounding the limiter, and I'm like, yo, you gotta take a deep breath. Read the labels on the mixer. You're not in the main room or the mix, you're in the booth. So if you need it louder, adjust the booth. Alright, with that said, I'll keep these down for now. I'll bring this up. Okay, so if I had the main output or the booth output turned up, oh, we got a little tip here. Lower end Allen and Heath and most Pioneers label both as monitor. That's really good to know. That's good to know. So if you go to a party and you see a mixer and it has two outputs labeled as monitor, you probably are going to want to ask your sound person or whoever is throwing the party, you're going to want to ask them which one is the monitor, okay? Because if you're turning the wrong knob, you could end up either damaging sound equipment or just making your music sound bad, basically. So make sure to ask questions, okay? There's no such thing as bad questions. We don't expect anybody to come in here and know exactly what every single knob does, so feel free to ask questions. Thanks for that tip, Quintus Iucundus. So, alright, we'll keep these down for now. We'll bring this up. And as you can see, when I bring up this level, do you see these other LEDs come up at the top? I'll do that one more time. So I bring up my channel. Smoke weed, hell yeah, we smoke weed. Alright, bring up this channel. Do it again. You see those LEDs at the top coming up? Alright, that's how we know that we're routing our channel 2 signal up to the outputs. This meter tells you what's going out the outputs, alright? So one more time. We got audio coming through channel 2, and we're going to send it to the outputs. Boom. Sent it to the outputs. Great. So now, where do we want this signal to go? Well, just for this tutorial's sake, I'll start by sending some audio to the mix, which in this case represents the room. So let's send some audio out to the room. Oh, I gotta restart my track. Gotta pick the banger. Start that. Alright, let's send our audio out to the room. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but so when I turn this up, you're getting audio out of all these big ass stacks. Alright, you hear that? Hear that beautiful music, people? So, here's the thing about your main out, or in this case it's called the mix out. If you're a DJ, you do not want to fuck with that knob. And not trying to be rude about it, but don't fucking touch that knob, okay? Because you're literally just going to be throwing off some levels that the sound people have finessed to make your music sound good. So literally, if you're trying to adjust the room level, like, you got to realize you're not adjusting the right knob. You're not in the room, you're in the booth. Remember that? You're in the booth. So if you want more volume, remember, I'm in the booth, I want more volume, bring up the booth. You hear that? Boom. See? Turn up the booth, I get more volume in the booth. You got that? Main mix? Main mix over here coming out the main room. And then the booth. The booth right there. We got booth volume. You like that? Oh yeah, this is a banger. Let's listen to this for a minute. Anybody have any questions on that? Just to recap, you do not want to fuck with the mix knob, okay? Usually at parties, I'll put a little cardboard box over this. Because again, it's not about trying to keep you quiet. It's about trying to make your track sound good. I'm on your side, okay? I'm trying to enjoy the music. So if you want your track to sound good, just trust the sound person who set this knob, okay? If you want more sound in your booth, that's you, okay? Alright. Yeah, what's up, Adonis? Alright, I'm gonna keep this up a little bit. Let me know if it interferes with people hearing me talking. Alright, so let's just do a quick recap for everybody who just joined. We got line level audio, which is higher, more voltage than phono level. We got that coming out into channel 2. We've got our trim pot set, which adjusts this LED. And don't forget, people, this fader does not adjust the LED, okay? I see some people trying to put the fader up next to the arrow. That's not what the arrow's there for, okay? You got that? The arrow is there for where you set your trim pot, or in this case, it's called level. So we're setting that LED. When I turn this LED up and down, or when I turn the trim pot up and down, we're adjusting the level of that LED, okay? It has nothing to do with the fader. You could think about the fader as the main out send. So the fader literally just sends your signal out to the main up here. See, when I bring this up, oh, my track ended again. When I bring this up, I'm sending it out to the main, okay? Alright, so we got our signal coming in. There we go. Alright, unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to jump into the next level of things. Oh, word. All good, Adonis. Good to see you. Do your thing. This is going to be archived up on the story. Alright, let me go back to that banger. I have like 3 tracks on my USB drive. One of them is the banger. I'm sure y'all know how that is. Alright. Somebody get my man a loop. Yo. Yeah, true. Somebody get me a loop, alright? Alright, let's talk about EQing. Everybody knows about EQing. I don't need to talk too much about this. Some mixers have a 3-band EQ. What does 3-band mean? It means there's 3 bands, 3 sections. You can see you got high fucker, low fucker, and motherfucker, which is actually high frequency, mid frequency, and low frequency. I'm gonna turn some of these knobs, okay? I'll turn up the volume, and I'll turn some knobs, and y'all can hear what happens to the audio through your shitty little phone speaker. Alright, isn't that nice, everybody? Isn't that nice? Doesn't that sound nice? So, let's talk about some different reasons that you would use the EQ. Actually, you know what? Let's take a step back and get some vinyl plugged in too, because I want y'all to know how that part of this whole thing works. Alright, let's get this turntable on the right plugged in. So, like I said, turntables have a hard-wired RCA. They don't have plugs like this, okay? Turntables, it's hardwired, so you just gotta find that wire coming out that looks like it could connect to an RCA. And we follow it across, boom, right there. Input 4, and you see how that's labeled? Phono, right there. That's how we know it's plugged in the right place. If you plug in your phono level signal into a line level input, it's not going to be loud enough. You need that phono preamp, so make sure it's on phono. Alright, we're coming in channel 4 with the phono. We're going to make sure we set our toggle switch to phono. Down is line, up is phono. Alright. So, let's see what happens when we put this needle on. See, when I put that needle on, we get this level here. I'll do it again. Lift it up. I put it down, get some levels there. Now, a lot of time when DJs come to play parties here and they're trying to get set up, sometimes the first question they'll ask me is, which channel are the CDJs on? Or which channel are the turntables on? And I'm happy to answer that question, but there's also a really easy way to figure that out on your own, which is to just basically put your needle down, or in the case of CDJs, you know, play your track. And as soon as you do that, the mixer will tell you which channel that particular device is on. So if I didn't know which channel this turntable was on, I could literally just put down the needle. And you see that? You see those LEDs pop up when I put down the needle? Bam, I'm on channel 4. Didn't have to ask anybody any questions. I'm a boss. I take care of myself, okay? So, there you go. We got our phone signal coming in channel 4. And as y'all know at this point, because y'all are experts, the first thing we want to do is flatten our EQ and adjust our trim so that that blue LED is in a good spot. Bam. That signal is looking nice. So let's bring up, I'll turn up my booth because we're not having a party, obviously. Everybody's at home. So we're going to keep our main out down. But I'm going to turn up the booth because we're having a little solo party right here in the booth. And let's bring up our record, okay? And you can see when I bring up this fader, I'm sending it to the main out, alright? Think about these faders as main out sends. That's really what you want to think about it. Don't think about it as like the volume knob. Setting the volume for a track, that happens up here with the trim. This is just how much of that track you're sending out to the main. So as you can see, when I bring up this fader, or I bring out this main out send, it's going to come up on these LEDs, which for this particular mixer, this is the main LEDs. So bring that up. See those levels? Banger. Yeah, let's listen to this track for a minute. Alright, so we're doing pretty good. We got our turntables hooked up, we got our XDJs hooked up. We're learning how to recognize which channel your XDJs and turntables are on without having to ask any questions. We're learning how to set our levels so that we're sending a nice healthy signal with good audio quality out to the main sound system. We're learning how to set our booth level. Alright, we're doing good. If the door is locked, how do I clout chase with the DJ? The answer to that is you want to put your camera in selfie mode and stand right up here and just like lean back with the selfie camera, and you should be able to get both you and the DJ in your selfie. So for y'all clout chasers, that's a pro tip, okay? All right, so let's talk about mixing two tracks together, all right? So to do that, I'll start my banger over here again, boom. So you can see I have my channel 2 line level audio banger from the XDJ coming in channel 2, and then I got my phono in coming in channel 4, all right? So I'll just do a very, very straightforward blend. No beat matching, no EQing, none of that. For y'all who are new to DJing, this is a very acceptable way to DJ. It's in our particular community, we're just really trying to showcase different people's taste in music, and we're trying to hang out, and we're trying to get people to come to parties just for friendship and getting to know people and the vibe. So for everybody who thinks you need to be able to beat match before you can DJ, or you think you need to be able to use EQs and queuing before you DJ, that's not true. You can do simple fades like this. So I'll do a very, very simple fade for y'all right here. All right, I've got my first track in. All right, here we go. I got my record playing. Here we go. Do y'all hear that? Hear that beautiful fade? I'll do it the other way now. Yo, thumbs up if you like that fade. Alright, so that was a simple fade right there. I think everybody in this chat could probably accomplish that effectively and keep the dance floor moving. But let's say we want to add a little more finesse to it, and we want to, you know, blend it, create a little story, make some momentum headed into the next track. This is where we can start getting into the EQ section, all right? So we'll bring up our track in a minute, but let's talk about EQs. So why do we want to use EQs? The way that I think about EQs is I think about creating space for the other tracks. Because when you think about it, it's like we set our level real nice on this side, all right? And we set our level real nice on this side. But when we put them both up together, when we have both those signals up, they actually compound on one another. So it's actually going to be louder than these 2 meters tell you. And you can see that in the main out. When I bring these 2 levels up, it's going more up to like that second blue LED. It's actually a little louder. So when I'm thinking about EQing, I'm thinking about just carving out space for the track that I'm going to bring in. So let's try carving out a little space with the EQ for this phono track on the right. Try bringing the bass out a little bit. All right. I'll turn the mids down a little bit. And then on this side, I'll actually cut the highs. So I'm actually going to bring in just the low end. Ready? And then as I bring that one out, I can bring these hi-hats back. Y'all see what I'm saying? Carving out space. So I'll do the same thing. I'll do just a simple bass crossover, which is probably the most common blend that people do. So I'll bring up my booth volume. I'm going to cut out the bass. Bring in my other track. Well, my track ended, but you could probably hear how when I brought in the second track, it filled in that space that I carved out for the other one. So I'll do it one more time. All right, start over my record. I have this bass cut out, all right? I'll bring this track in with the bass cut out. And now I'll cross them over. Could y'all hear how that bass crossed over? Probably not in your tin can phone speaker, but I'll do it with the mids too. We'll try it with the mids, okay? I'm gonna cut out the mids here before I bring it in, all right? And then I'll switch the mids over. Yeah, I know y'all heard that. That was nice. That was sounding nice right there, even without the beat matching. All right. Quit dissing my phone speaker. Yo, fuck your phones. Your phone speaker is a little bitch. Sorry to tell you that. Your phone speaker's gotta fucking wake up and do something with its life. All right. So let's talk about some other reasons that you might want to use the EQ. Okay. EQing can also, it can give a track momentum, you know? If if your track is playing and you know it's a good track, but maybe it doesn't have quite enough of its own juice to keep people going, you can use the EQ to kind of create a little story, you know, like create some momentum in the track. So you could try cutting out the bass for a little bit so that people are just riding those hi-hats for a little while. You know, cut the bass, just give them a little hi-hats for a little bit, let them get acclimated to those hi-hats, and then by the time that they forget about the bass entirely, they're so like lost in bliss with those hi-hats, then you fucking hit them with the bass again, and that's when you're fucking like working it, you know. That's when you're like, you're creating a little story, you know. You're the DJ. You're bringing new life to these tracks. You're pushing them to new places. You're exploring the tracks themselves, breathing life into them. So let's try to do a simple bass cut. We'll just do a bass cut. We'll let my pretend audience just jam on the hi-hats for a little bit, and then we'll drop the bass in. All right, let's try that. All right, here comes the bass. I'll do it one more time, all right? Simple bass cuts. It gives a little momentum to the music. Get those hi-hats. Turn those hi-hats up like that. All right. People are grooving, bring back the bass. You feel that? Y'all feel that? Y'all moving at home? You wiggling your toes? Yo, wiggle those toes out there to let me know you're alive, alright? Alright, so that's like 2 ways we can use the EQ, right? We can carve out space for the other track that we're going to bring in to blend them. We can also just use it to create momentum or to kind of play with the track a little bit. The same goes for the main out send faders, and I'm calling them main out send faders just to be very clear. Don't think about this as your volume, okay? Think about it as the amount that you send to the main out, okay? So let's try getting creative with the faders a little bit, all right? And again, there's no right or wrong answers, okay? A lot of fucking dude bros are gonna tell you like, oh, this is how you be an expert DJ. Fuck that. There's no rules to it. You can play with all these knobs however you want. Everybody has a different preference, a different sound. That's why we like to showcase different people, because everybody has something different flavor, and we like different flavors, people, okay? All right, let's play with the main out fader. Let's get creative with it. Here we go. Hey, I never said I wouldn't let you redline. I said the limiter is going to turn you down if you do that, and your music's going to sound like crap. There's no rules. You can blast the limiter if you want, but your music's going to sound like crap, and we probably won't book you again because, I don't know, we're trying to listen to music that sounds really good, okay? Alright, you see how we're using that main out fader? Oh shit. Damn, we got some fucking heat in the chat right now. Oh shit. Yeah, Quintus. I don't know, Quintus. You're sounding kind of like a Republican. I hate to tell you that. Alright, so we got our fucking slick fader tricks. Alright, now let's try combining them, okay? So maybe I'll do a bass cut to kind of create a little momentum. And then while we're riding the hi-hats, I can accent the hi-hats with the fader. Let's try that out. Here we go, ready? We're gonna cut the bass. Turn up the hi-hats a little bit. Alright, let's accent those hi-hats. Alright, now we got those hi-hats a little finessed, you know? Just wait till it feels right, alright? Whenever it feels right, you can bring that bass back in. Here we go, ready? Alright, there you go. Alright, let's switch over to the next phase of this workshop, which is we're going to talk about cueing. Everybody loves cueing, alright? So, what is cueing? Who wants to answer me that in the chat? 2 seconds. 2 seconds for whoever wants to answer me what cueing is in the chat. Alright, time's up. So for everybody who's new to DJing, cueing, you can send your channel levels. I'll turn this down for now. You can send your channel levels. Oh, let's start that track again just so we got something coming through. So we got channel 2 coming through here. Let's say we want to listen to what's on this channel before we use the master out fader to send it to the master. We want to basically sample it. You can think about the cue as like, you know, it's like when you're at Costco and you want to sample the microwave, they have little microwave pizza samples before you want to buy it. That's essentially what the cue is. We want to know what this track tastes like before we serve it up to people, okay? So, alright, we got our flat EQ. Oh, we got our trim pot. Nice right there. Alright. Yeah, that's Ellen just mentioned, putting the music in your headphones. That's what the cue does. Alright, we want to put the music in our headphones. We want to see what it tastes like before we send it out to the main with this fader. So, on this particular mixer, and again, everything is labeled, okay? Some of the mixers uses different terminology, but if you just take a little time and research, you'll know exactly what everything does if you just read the labels. So, cue, we want to put it in our headphones before we send it out. Let's find where it says cue on here. Boom, right there, cue. We got a big button. Boom, press that button. Now we know that it's sending music out to the headphones. And we want to turn up our headphone level right here. Level. We got the phone section, phones right here, this big weird shape. Level. Turn it up. You hear that? Can y'all hear that at home? I'm using this headphones volume to send my cue. If I turn this cue off, you don't hear anything. Right? We're sending it to our headphones. Cue. Cue it in the headphones. There it is. And I got them turned up loud just so y'all can hear it in the headphones. Jammer. Jamma slamma. You hear that? That jamma? Alright. So that's useful. Alright, let's say that this track is playing, alright? I got my track up, it's going out the main, I got my booth turned up. And let's say I want to cue my record right here. So I'll start my record over. boom, I can see I got my record playing on channel 4 here. And I wanna cue that before I bring this up. I don't wanna bring this up yet until I know what this sounds like, alright? So let's fix our EQ. Flat, I got my trim, so that first blue LED, very nice. Alright, and then we wanna cue it, so I'll hit the cue button. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but you hear that in the headphones? We're cueing that track. So we got the cue on channel 4. You can hear it in that track. Alright. And you can also mess with the EQs in the headphone cue. So if I turn the bass and the mids down, you just hear the hi-hats in the cue. Because maybe you just want to bring in the hi-hats. Who knows, you know? You can get creative with it. Let's say we want to bring in just the hi-hats on this record right here. So we're queued up. We got our EQ like this for just the hi-hats. You can hear just the hi-hats in the headphones. All right, now we're good. So we'll turn off the cue. We can bring it in. Can y'all hear how there's just hi-hats coming through on channel 4? I'll turn down the hi-hats on channel 2 so it carves out even more space for those hi-hats. So we got just hi-hats on channel 4, and we got just mids and lows on channel 2. Alright? So again, that's one way of using the cue and the EQ to kind of carve out space, and you kind of figure out what you want to send out to the dance floor before you actually send it out, okay? Alright, let's talk about some other functions of the cue. Turn the booth down a little bit. Alright, so when you're in your headphones, usually you have one headphone hanging over your ear so you can hear whichever track you have cued. Like let's say I have my record cued into my headphones, and I want to compare that to channel 2, which is coming out my booth, right? I got my booth turned up. That's channel 2 coming out because I have the main out send up on channel 2, and I'm cueing channel 4, and I got the volume up. Now let's say you're trying to beat match and it's a little tricky because I don't know, sometimes when you're in a space and there's a lot of sound coming from different angles, you got to kind of blend your cues so that you can hear things well. I gotta restart this track one sec. That's where this cue blend comes in. You got cue and mix. Sometimes it helps to just put a little bit of the mix into your headphones. So this main out send, it's not only going out to my booth right now, or it's actually, the signal's going to the cue before this send, but so this signal is also, you know, it's going through this main out send through to the booth because I have that turned up. But this signal, this channel 2 signal, is also going to my headphones because I have a little bit of that mix coming into my headphones. You got that? So this is a little, maybe slightly more advanced for when you're trying to beat match, okay? So that's the headphone cue, all right? I think y'all have a good idea of that. Yo, also, how's everybody doing right now? Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to ask me? People feeling this? Just hit me up in the chat. Ellen says blend. That's right, we're trying to blend. Alright, I'll go over a couple other features of this mixer that honestly, you don't need to worry about this stuff, but it's good to know it's there. So someone asked earlier, we have these are called XFX knobs. Not all mixers have this, and the term XFX is actually unique to this mixer. And basically what it is it's an effects send. Thanks, Saw. Thanks, I appreciate that. Ellen says filters. We're not quite at the filters yet. Perhaps that was a sarcastic joke about this sticker that I put on here. Not filters. Everybody thinks these are filters. I see a lot of DJs, they're playing their track and they're trying to filter it with this. You're not filtering it. That's not where the filter is on this mixer. And again, everything's labeled. Everything is labeled, okay? If you read this, it says XFX. It doesn't say filter here. It says XFX. It says filter down here somewhere. Maybe it doesn't say filter down here. Well, anyway. Well, it does because I put this fucking sticker here. Filter. That's where the filter is. Not filter. These are effect sends. So, what is an effect send? For those of you who are new to this, a simple way to think about an effect send is it basically, you can take your audio and you can say, I want you to route my audio signal out the mixer through something, say this thing, a delay pedal. An effect send could be, I want you to send my signal through a delay and bring it back. Okay? So, and that's actually what I have hooked up right now. I have a delay pedal hooked up. Alright? So, when I turn this effect send on, I'm actually sending some of this signal. Let's turn this up a little bit. So when I turn this effect send knob, I'm sending some of my channel 2 signal out the effect send, which is down there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sending it out. It comes through the pedal and it comes back into the mixer. Alright? So let's listen to what happens when we turn the effect send knob up through that delay pedal. Alright. Listen close, everybody. Can y'all hear that? It's a little dry now. It's like a dry signal. I'll turn it up. Ready? Can you hear that? Hear those delays? This is the signal going through this delay pedal. Effect send. It's going out here, through this pedal and back, okay? That's the effect send. Alright, now listen to this. I'll cut it out and you can hear just the delay. You hear that? Oh yeah, that sounds real nice. I know y'all like that. So again, I got the... Oh yeah, what's up, Yaki? Welcome. So again, this is not a filter. This is an effect send. Basically, it's sending this main out this wire through the delay pedal and back. Okay? Alright, so we got some tools now, right? We got tools. We got our EQ, we got our effect send, we got our main out fader. So yeah, let's wig out on it a little bit. I'll do some creative. Let's start our track over, okay? Yeah, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. 12:54. We're coming at an hour. All right, killing it. All right. Alright, I'm just going to wig out on this track a little bit and show y'all some tricks you can do with the EQ, the main out fader, and the effects send, which is not the filter. Alright, here we go. Alright, I hope that gives y'all an idea, some little tricks you can do for that. And you know, you can also use those tracks to do blends, obviously. So let's bring back our little vinyl track over here. I got this going. You can see it's coming through channel 4. So let's try and do a little quick fade. I'll try doing, I'll use the aux send to trigger this delay, and then the trails of this delay will just go out as I bring in this track, alright? So I'll turn up my delay. Alright, turn up the booth first. You hear those trails? I'm going to use those trails to blend into my vinyl record. Here we go, ready? that was something. You know, better than nothing, right? All right. So, yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good basic overview. Oh, let's do the filter real quick. We'll do the filter. Everybody wants the filter, okay? We all know that's what you came for, is the filter. So for this particular mixer, the filter is down in this corner. It's a weird place for it. I know it confuses a lot of you, but once you get it once, you get it forever. So, again, these aren't the filters. You might think they're the filters because they're next to the filter buttons, but they're not. They're effect sends. I'm using it for a delay right now. You could use it for whatever you want. Oh, thank you, Quintus. Thank you. So let's filter this track real quick. I'll bring up my booth. So if I'm going to filter this track, I got to make sure the filter's turned on, right? If I only started DJing because of filter sweeps. See, we're all here for the filter sweeps. Here we go. This is what we all paid for right here. So for this particular mixer, there's one filter. This is it. There's a high pass, a band pass, and a low pass. In most cases, you'll just want to use the high pass, but again, there's no rules. Did I miss the filter part? You're just in time. We're just starting. Hell yeah, future cunt, welcome. We're here to talk about filters right now. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so this particular mixer, here's the filter section. It's in the bottom right. You see that? Here's the whole mixer. This is the bottom right here. This is the filter section. I even put a sticker on here. Filter. There it is. Boom. So let's hear what happens when I turn this. Now y'all might be wondering, why the fuck do I not hear the filter? And that's a question that a lot of DJs ask themselves at parties while they're turning this knob. The answer to that is you gotta turn on the filter. There's filter on-off buttons for each channel. So we got our track bumping on channel 2 right now, right? We got the main out fader up. We want to turn on the filter. All right, filter's on. All right, now let's try turning this knob. I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up a little bit. Y'all hear that? Alright, there's that filter y'all love. Alright, let's say we have channel 4 on, okay? We're playing our record. Alright, we got our record going now. And we want to add a filter to our record. Same thing, we gotta enable the filter for that channel. Alright, here we go. Alright, pretty simple, right? Now there's some creative ways to use this. It's kind of cool that they have this filter button because you can kind of use it for different creative purposes. For example, let's turn the filter off. Let's bring up the filter halfway, alright? Or let's bring it up like that. That's a pretty steep high cut, or a low cut. So we're just getting like the high end through the filter. And then I can use this button as like a creative tool for playing, because I know that when I hit this button, I'm instantly getting a very steep low cut. So let's bring it up and we'll play with this button. Y'all hear that? Oh. Tutorial's about to end. Alright, thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'm gonna mix a couple records for you. I'll mix a few things. I'll mix a CDJ or a couple records for. I know my live stream got cut off, but just to close off the workshop, I'm gonna mix a few things for y'all so you can see it in action. Okay. mixing a record right now. I'm cueing my record. I'm carving out some space for my record right now. I'm crossing over these two. Filter. And then the send, we'll do some send. Alright, I'm gonna do another record now. I'm cueing my record. Alright, y'all. Enjoy your day, alright? Enjoy your day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those blends right there.